Last month I made a bit of a gaff. Halley's Comet, for example, has a 75-year orbit of the Sun. I saw it once, in the 90s. Now, I was immediately notified of this gaff by all you lovely lot in the comments, so on the next video I released, I made a correction. Before we begin today, I want to make a small correction to Tuesday's video where I stated that I had seen Halley's Comet in the 90s. Of course I didn't, because it was in fact Comet Hale-Bopp. End of story, yes? No. Old channel foe Sleeping Warrior decided to make his own video about my gaff. Admittedly before I made the correction, but let's take a look all the same. And I may not see it ever again. Well, you'll be very pleased to know that he's made a gaff or two of his own. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, SciManDan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, I just want to say a massive thank you to all those who have sent me something last month to the PO box, including whoever it was that sent me the hair growth oil. Special thanks goes to Georgina, who sent me these two fantastic prints. Thank you, Georgina. If you'd like to send me something, then please do check out the PO box address in the description. Right, back to today's video, and long-time viewers will remember that this isn't the first time that Sleeping Warrior, or Anthony Riley if we want to use his real name, has had me in his sights. This was the first time.
And you sit there with your gay little corner and your gay little haircut and your gay little sphere.
Not content with giving my haircut and my corner a sexuality, he has decided to comment on my comet gaff as well, and rightly so. Of course, my mistake was just that, a mistake. But maybe we should conduct a channel audit on old Sleeping Warrior's channel and see what we can find. This is the top 3 Sleeping Warrior gaffs. First up is Sleeping Warrior's attempt to show that he knows everything about eclipses, when in reality he knows about as much as Thrive and Survive. Let's watch a clip from a hangout he had where he decided it would be a good idea to make a bet with someone.
A solar eclipse will happen every single month. And why? Because it takes 27 days, 27 point something days for the moon to orbit the Earth. So at some point it's going to cross the sun.
Yes, he really said that, and yes, he truly believes it.
And it does it every single month. Now, I have no explanation for why it takes every 100 years for America to get one, because the law of probability dictates that it should be every few years, but we're being told it's once every 100 years. So there is a solar eclipse every month. The only problem is we don't see it because it's usually over the water.
Please let's all bear in mind that this is a man who thinks he knows more about science than anyone else in the globe community, i.e. normal people.
So you can bet me £1,000 because you're going to have to come up with the reason for why it's not when the moon orbits the Earth once every month, you Burke. I bet you £1,000 solar eclipses happen every single month. The issue is we never see them because they're normally over the Earth, normally over the water. There's the £1,000 Matt Taylor. Put your money where your mouth is, or shut up, because you don't know what you're talking about.
The confidence is unbelievable, isn't it? The guy who he makes the bet with then jumps on the hangout, and they have a little chat about the bet.
Anthony, you claim that eclipses happen every month, yeah?
Correct.
Why do they happen every month, Anthony?
Do we know what an eclipse is before we start? Let's define
solar eclipse.
Yeah, let's define it. What happens with a solar eclipse?
Yeah, the moon travels in front of the sun.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the reason why that happens is because of it going around the Earth once every 27 point summit days, right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why you're going to argue that it doesn't happen is because of the ecliptic plane of 5% tilt, correct?
Yep.
Does the moon still pass in front of the sun?
No.
Yet it does. It just casts a shadow that's
No,
sometimes
it doesn't,
on Earth.
Anthony. It goes
Yes, it
above
does.
and below, above and below. That's
Yeah.
why you don't get a solar eclipse every month, Anthony.
Yeah, but we do
Because
get
the
a solar
ecliptic
eclipse.
is on a 5-degree tilt.
Yeah.
So what that means is on the Earth, on the moon's orbit, when the moon comes around to where the sun is, at one time it's above the sun, then it's
Yeah.
below the sun,
Yeah.
and then when it lines up, it goes in front of the sun.
Once every month, the moon will pass between us and the sun.
No, it will not, Anthony.
Now I can appreciate how annoyed this Mark guy is getting because Sleeping Warrior is just not listening to him at all. They argue a little bit more until Mark starts asking for some proof.
I'm trying to get a 3D demonstration of showing what I want to try and see.
No, I want an article, Anthony. You said you was going to link an article, and if not, you was going to pay me £1,000. So where's the article?
You said for a video or anything that... You're going to have to wait. I'm going to have to find you one. Hang on.
So you can't find an article then? Surely if we get one every month, it should be all over the place, shouldn't it?
Right, I can't do it straight away. You'll have to bear with me while I find it. But
What do you mean bear with you? But you fannying about for 10 minutes? What are you on about?
Because I'm not getting a chance to do it because you're too busy arguing with me.
Oh, well, you can't Google and talk at the same time.
I know where I can do it. No, because I'm trying to keep up with what you're saying.
Shut the up, put yourself on mute, and an article.
Orcs. Now obviously Sleeping Warrior is not going to find an article because we don't get a solar eclipse every month. Shortly after this, Sleeping Warrior leaves the hangout. He does return though and argues a bit more, but it will come as no surprise to you that he provided no proof for his claims. And he didn't pay up. Okay, next up we have a quite catastrophic piece of researching. If you've been in and around the flat earth argument for a while, you will know that they place no confidence whatsoever on an experiment called Foucault's pendulum. It is a wonderfully simple experiment that shows the rotation of the Earth quite beautifully and was designed by French physicist Léon Foucault. Sleeping Warrior decides to make a video on him, and hilarity ensues.
Paul Michel Foucault, the guy we all know for the pendulum effect. Apparently it shows the rotation of the Earth. What do we know about Foucault?
Eagle-eyed viewers will probably already have noticed that Sleeping Warrior is looking at the page of Paul Michel Foucault, a French philosopher, and not Léon Foucault, the physicist who came up with the pendulum idea.
Not that much really. French, pendulums, that's about it. That's all we know about him. This is the guy. He died in 1984, aged 57. Does anybody know what he died of? I didn't know what he died of. Presumably old age. There's not that much in it, but for the fact that he was gay, openly gay. He died of HIV, and that's about as much as you can tell. Everything else in here is generally it's not that, not that interesting. There's not that much in it.
The Foucault he was supposed to be looking at died of multiple sclerosis complications and not HIV. But of course we all know he's looking at the wrong Foucault.
One thing I want to show you is that if you do a Control and F in here and type in pendulum, no mention of the pendulum.
I wonder why that is.
Foucault's pendulum is supposed to show the rotation of the Earth. Wouldn't you think that if that was true, it would at least get a mention in his Wikipedia page?
It would, wouldn't it? He continued to talk about the wrong Foucault, even going as far as finding a video that assassinates his character. It really is cringe personified. Okay, last up we have possibly the absolute mother of gaffs. Once again guys, I remind you that Sleeping Warrior is a man who is trying to convince everyone that the Earth is not a sphere using science and maths. In this particular video, Sleeping Warrior was in a hangout when the subject of his mathematical prowess came up. He was asked a question, and what followed was, well, see for yourself.
Anthony, if a triangle has the sides 1, 1, and 1, do you know what the angles of the triangle are?
Which kind of triangle are you on about? Are you on about like a right angle triangle?
The triangle has sides 1, 1, and 1. Do you know what the angles are?
The angles would be... Well, it would be an equilateral triangle, wouldn't it?
Right, so what are the angles? Now I'm going to ask this again. If you have a triangle with sides of 1, 1, and 1, what are the angles?
I'm gonna pull up a triangle calculator.
Sleeping Warrior decides he wants to use a triangle calculator. Okay, let's see how he gets on with that.
Let's do this again. Anthony, a triangle has sides 1, 1, and 1. What are the angles? Is somebody recording this? Because this is just priceless.
Well, the one I'm using it's not giving me any when I do it. So either this calculator is wrong or you're wrong.
So his calculator hasn't helped. Here's an idea, Anthony. When you were in year 7 at school, you should have listened instead of picking the chewing gum from the bottom of the tables.
We have a triangle with sides of 1, 1, and what are the angles?
Yeah, so that's an equilateral triangle, right?
Right, so what are the angles?
Does that work on a right angle triangle?
Classic deflecting.
The sides are 1, 1, and 1. What are the angles?
When is that ever used in astronomical calculations for measuring trig?
I'm not going to tell you that until you answer my question. The triangle has sides...
It's not relevant. We use right angle triangles to calculate the distance things, correct?
Who here thinks that Sleeping Warrior can use right angles to find the distance to things? Anyone? Hands up, come on. Craig, no laughing.
We don't even need to use right angle triangles.
What you're describing only works with an equilateral.
Anthony, the fact that you can't answer these simple math questions, crap you, is ridiculous.
Why can't you just apply it to right angle triangles?
Fine, 3, 4, 5. That's a right angle.
Oh, here we go.
How do you know it's a right angle triangle?
At this point, you must be thinking he's taking the mick, but I can assure you, he isn't.
Because 3, 4, 5 triangles are right angle.
So
because it physically is. There's no other triangle it can be.
All right, well, I don't know that's true, so I want to test it. How do I test it?
Pythagoras, buddy. He might be able to help you on that one.
Okay, so for the other people playing at home, maybe you can answer these questions while Riley's trying. You have a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1. What are the angles?
60, 60, 60.
60, 60, and 60. I heard somebody whisper. You're correct. Now, if you have a triangle with sides 2, 2, and 2, what are the angles?
Let's give Anthony a chance to respond.
Oof, savage by that guy.
Well, this is irrelevant. I've already stated my position.
No, it's not. Your inability to do math is totally
triangles. We don't use equilateral triangles to calculate the distances and stuff. We use right angle triangles.
I think the issue here, Sleeping Warrior, Anthony, is that you don't know how to do any of this math.
Absolutely bang on. It is the equivalent of me saying that I'm a yoga instructor and that I want to change the face of yoga as we know it when I can't even touch my toes.
Lewis's point was that if Lewis's point
my point was that you do not know how to do this math. That was my point. That Anthony Riley, do not know how to do this math.
Now, how does that apply to astronomical features in the sky?
It doesn't.
Right.
It applies to you not having a clue what you're talking about and being extremely confident when you talk, regardless.
Well,
and there we have it, folks. A lesson for all of us. It is definitely possible for someone to come across as supremely confident, whilst at the same time not having a single clue about what they're talking about. Bob Nodell is another person.
A 15 degree per hour drift.
Yes, thank you, Bob. Bob Nodell is another person who...
A 15 degree per hour drift.
I said thank you, Bob. He's another person that is well known for being supremely confident and not having a clue what he's talking about. So, along with Anthony Riley, from now on, the Dunning-Kruger effect will now be referred to as the Riley-Nodell effect. Well, there we go. 3 amusing times that Sleeping Warrior has hashed up, and I'm sure there are many, many more as well. I think what surprises me most through all of this is that even though all of the flat earthers have witnessed these gaffes, they still listen to him. Quite remarkable. Right, that brings another episode of Flat Earth Friday to a satisfying close. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would thoroughly appreciate a like and a subscribe. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I have, as ever, been SciManDan, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the Anti-Vax premiere. See you all then.